Have you ever wondered why God would allow his own prophet, a faithful servant, to die under such mysterious and tragic circumstances? In today's story, we delve into one of the Bible's most haunting tales, a prophet sent by God, a deceptive lie, and a lion lying in wait on the road. This isn't just a story of judgment, it's a lesson in obedience, discernment, and the weight of divine commands. Join us as we uncover the profound and heart-wrenching lessons in 1 Kings. And if you're ready for more captivating Bible stories and mysteries revealed, be sure to subscribe and hit the bell icon for future updates. Before we dive into the story of this prophet, let's set the historical backdrop. We're in the era just after the United Kingdom of Israel experienced its golden age under Kings David and Solomon. King David, often remembered as a man after God's own heart, 1 Samuel 13:14, unified Israel's tribes and strengthened its military. His son Solomon's reign saw prosperity and peace, alongside the construction of the magnificent temple in Jerusalem, making it Israel's spiritual center. Yet Solomon's later years were marked by alliances with foreign nations and the worship of foreign gods, which displeased the Lord and weakened the kingdom's spiritual core. After Solomon's death, Israel reached a crossroads. The kingdom split into two: the northern kingdom of Israel under Jeroboam and the southern kingdom of Judah under Rehoboam. In an effort to secure his rule, Jeroboam built worship centers in Bethel and Dan, setting up golden calves, a direct violation of God's commandment to avoid idolatry. 1 Kings 12:28-33. He even appointed his own priests, a move that defied the Mosaic law and led Israel further into spiritual decline. It was in this turbulent environment of rebellion and idolatry that God sent a prophet from Judah to deliver a message to Jeroboam. The prophet's mission was clear yet grave. Sent by God, he journeyed from Judah to Bethel, where Jeroboam was leading the people in worship at an idolatrous altar. The prophet arrived with a divine message, a warning of judgment against the altar. He boldly declared that a future king named Josiah would come from the house of David and desecrate these altars by burning human bones on them. 1 Kings 13:1-2. This prophecy pointed to the king who would rise generations later to bring Israel back to true worship. As a sign of the Lord's power, the altar immediately split and ashes poured out, an unmistakable display of God's displeasure. Jeroboam, enraged by the prophet's words, stretched out his hand to seize him, but his hand instantly withered, leaving him unable to pull it back. Only after the prophet interceded for him did Jeroboam's hand heal, displaying the mercy of God even amid judgment. 1 Kings 13:4-6. God had given the prophet specific instructions for his journey. He was to eat no bread, drink no water, and return by a different route. These commands were a test of obedience, emphasizing separation from the idolatrous practices of Bethel. The prophet's unwavering obedience in delivering his message to Jeroboam showed his commitment. Yet a twist awaited him. An older prophet living in Bethel heard of the events and sought out the man of God from Judah. His sons, who witnessed the miraculous signs, recounted the entire incident to him. 1 Kings 13:11-13. After hearing their account, the old prophet mounted his donkey and tracked down the man of God, finding him resting under an oak tree. He invited him back to his home to eat and drink, but the prophet from Judah initially refused, citing God's command not to eat or drink there. 1 Kings 13:14-16. Then the old prophet lied. He claimed that an angel had appeared to him, instructing him to bring the man of God to his home for food and water. 1 Kings 13:18. Trusting the word of the older prophet over God's original command, the man of God relented and followed him back. This act of disobedience, though born of deception, would have grave consequences. As they were seated at the table, the true word of the Lord came to the old prophet, condemning the man of God for his disobedience. Because he had ignored the direct instructions from God, the prophet would not be laid to rest in the tomb of his ancestors. 1 Kings 13:20-22. After the meal, the prophet from Judah began his journey back. But as he traveled, a lion met him on the road and struck him down. The lion, however, did not devour his body, nor did it harm the donkey standing nearby. Instead, both the lion and the donkey remained by his body, creating an eerie tableau. 1 Kings 13:24-25. The unusual behavior of the lion is key to understanding the story. Lions attack for food or defense, yet this lion did not consume the prophet's body or harm the donkey. This was not a random animal attack, but a divine judgment orchestrated by God. By allowing the prophet's body to remain intact and the donkey unscathed, God was sending a clear message to anyone who came across the scene. This death was a direct result of disobedience, not a natural occurrence. When passers-by saw the lion, the donkey, and the prophet's body, news quickly spread back to Bethel. The event served as a solemn reminder of the importance of obeying God's commands fully and the potential consequences of being misled, even by those who seem trustworthy. The old prophet, upon hearing of the prophet's death, retrieved the body and buried it in his own tomb. He mourned, saying, "Alas, my brother," a poignant acknowledgement of the tragedy that had unfolded. 1 Kings 13:29-30. He instructed his sons to bury him beside the prophet from Judah when he died, perhaps as an expression of remorse and respect for the man of God, whose mission he had inadvertently derailed. This story of the prophet from Judah carries several powerful lessons. First and foremost is the importance of unwavering obedience to God's instructions. The prophet had faithfully delivered God's message to Jeroboam, yet his single act of disobedience led to his downfall. The account emphasizes that God's instructions are to be followed precisely, no matter how convincing an alternate message may seem. Another critical lesson is the need for spiritual discernment. The prophet from Judah trusted the word of an older prophet over the direct command he received from God. This serves as a reminder that we must be discerning even when others appear to speak with authority. As the Bible warns in 1 John 4:1, "Beloved, do not believe every spirit, but test the spirits to see whether they are from God." The motivations of the old prophet are ambiguous. Perhaps he felt envious or insecure, or maybe he was driven by curiosity. But his deception led to a tragic outcome, underscoring the responsibility each of us has not to mislead others in spiritual matters. It also reminds us of the dangers of placing too much trust in others when it comes to God's commands. This narrative also reflects God's sovereignty and mercy. The prophet's mission was marked by miraculous signs, the splitting of the altar and the healing of Jeroboam's hand, that revealed God's power. Yet God's judgment on the prophet from Judah for his disobedience was swift, showing the seriousness of violating God's commands. Despite the tragic end, the prophet's message was fulfilled, and the prophecy about the altar and Josiah would later come to pass, demonstrating that God's purposes cannot be thwarted. The story of the prophet from Judah is a timeless reminder of the importance of complete obedience to God. It teaches us that even when faced with deception or conflicting messages, our loyalty to God's word must remain steadfast. This account also serves as a warning about the consequences of spiritual compromise and the need for discernment. If this story has impacted you and you want to continue exploring more biblical accounts filled with lessons and wisdom, subscribe to our channel and hit the bell icon for updates. Thank you for joining us on this journey through the Bible, and may God bless you with discernment and faithfulness. Until next time, may the lessons from the prophet of Bethel remind us to walk in obedience to God's voice alone.